Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's all I remember. Sup YouTube, I am back earlier than I said I was going to be because lately I've just been stressing with studying and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, let's take a break from that and do something I actually want to do, so here it is. And if you see from the title of this video, it is going to be about Star Wars because this past week I saw Star Wars for the first time. But now, before you say anything like, oh my god, why have you not seen Star Wars before you're 20? How is that possible? Well, I have many reasons. Well, actually 2 reasons. And there are, 1, I need to preface this by the fact that most movies I can be okay with seeing halfway through and not caring really. Star Wars was not one of those movies. I know my brother, he would always watch it and I'd always come in either like halfway through or he would turn the channel and it'd be like almost done. And I'm like, no, I can't watch it. And it got to the point where I'd get really pissed off if it was on and it wasn't halfway on. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. I needed to see it from the beginning. And if I didn't, I was not gonna watch it. And the second reason was, I never really knew how to watch it. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't even know where I got this idea from, but I'm pretty sure that most people have a specific way of watching it, and I did not know what was the right way to watch it. And if I was gonna watch it, I wanted to do it the proper way. So I ended up asking my 2 friends how they recommended watching it. They told me to watch it chronologically episode-wise. So I would watch episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, and so on. And then I had told my mom this, and I had actually watched episode 1 right before I talked to her about it. And she got so angry at me. She said, no, you're supposed to watch Star Wars, like New Hope, because it was then called just Star Wars. And so she got angry at me that I watched it wrong. She said I was supposed to watch it chronologically how it came out, movie-wise. So I don't know. Please leave a comment on how you prefer seeing it, because that would be really helpful. And that also, if you could, if you don't mind, leave like your age, because I have a feeling most people who were born in like the 80s or that kind of stuff, they were like watching Star Wars New Hope, then episode 5, then episode 6, while people more my age, they probably like watching it chronologically episode-wise, so 1, 2, 3, so on. So yeah, that'd be interesting to find out. But anyway, if you have not watched Star Wars before and you were like me a week ago, don't watch any further because I'm going to do some spoilers because there's some stuff I need to talk about and just get off my chest and say. So, I warned you, and you better go watch them, because even if you don't really think you're gonna like Star Wars, you gotta watch it. It's like a cultural thing. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those things that if you haven't seen, you're like, what? How did you not see it? Do you live under a rock? Which that was me for most of my life. So please save yourself time. You might actually like it. I really loved it, but I knew I was gonna love it. I just didn't watch it until a week ago. So save yourself time and go watch them right now. I might jump around a bit because my brain is kind of like about it, because I did watch it not a while ago, but enough that I might just like not remember exactly which movie it was in. But anyway, the first thing I should talk about. Oh, I wanted to, this really confused me. In episode 1 and episode 2, it seems like Anakin Skywalker aged so much, but Padme did not at all, and it was really confusing because I talked to my brother about this, and apparently they're the same age and both are close to the same age. Friggin' Anakin in the first movie, he looks 5. how, and then in the second one, he looks around 20-ish, and she looks like 16 the entire time. And I'm just like, what happened? That really just confused me so much. Also, in Phantom Menace, the first one, I really liked how it all was done. I really liked the effects and that kind of stuff. I thought it was really, really cool. So I really liked it. The fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi would not let Anakin go back and try to save his mom, that would have like prevented everything from happening from then on. Like, even if it was just like a day earlier. Okay, that might not have helped at all, but still, he would have been able to save his mom, and Anakin would then not turn to the dark side in order to save another loved one, because that was basically why, because he couldn't save his mom, so he wanted to do whatever he could to save Padme. Just, what? I have problems with it, because I always thought before watching the movies that Anakin, or rather Darth Vader, was just a completely bad person, or bad whatever he turned into, machine. But that's not the case, and I was like, oh my god, it's not even his fault. Well, it's a little bit his fault, but mostly it's the Sith, and then also the Council of the Jedi, because they just let stuff happen when they could have just fixed it all. And I don't know, I just blame them a bit more than I do Anakin. So yeah. The fact that Qui-Gon, no, not Qui-Gon, yes, Qui-Gon Jinn, who I always want to call Don Quan Wong for some reason, because that's what it looked like. His name is, and that's what I can remember, so. But the fact that Liam Neeson died in the movie, I was just like, oh my god. And then in episode 3, the fact that Samuel L. Jackson, I was like, because when I think of those two actors, I think of them as being like invincible characters and they never die, but then in one franchise, they both die, and that kind of blew my mind a bit, or I thought it was funny, so. And I knew since the Chancellor, or the dude was made Chancellor, that he was going to be the bad guy. I don't know why. It's just, I knew he was going to be the bad guy. He just looked like he was too excited. I don't know. He was trying to hide his excitement for being made Chancellor by Queen Padme. And then when I saw, what was it? The third one, I think it was finally revealed that he was the Sith. I was like, yep, I knew it. I knew it. Because everything he did with the council, it always seemed, I don't know, bad. And I don't know if I'm stupid to think I'm very, like, smart to that I got that in the first movie. Because probably other people did as well. But I was really proud of myself that I figured that out quite early on. So that was a good thing. I don't think I really have much to say about Attack of the Clones, other than the fact that Anakin Skywalker seemed to age so much and Padme so little. And then another thing, it's not really a big thing, but before I had watched these movies, one of the names that I always remembered hearing, or like that was very, I don't know, popular, I guess, was Boba Fett. But there wasn't much about him. He doesn't play as big as a role as what I would have expected, having heard talk about it for a while, but I don't know, I don't know. I found that weird. Oh, and another little thing. I was surprised to see Rose Byrne in this movie. I did not expect that, because she's usually in comedies nowadays, and she was in Star Wars, and I was like, oh my god. Oh, and I think it was either Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. The, the puns made by CP3O, oh my god, they were the best. Like, during a fight, he was separated, like his head was over there and then his body was over there, so R2D2, oh my god, dragged his head to his body, and while he was being dragged, CP3O said, "Oh my god, this is such a drag," while he was being dragged. And then when he was next to his body, he was like, "I'm beside myself," and I just thought that was hilarious. That really shows much about my humor and how little it takes to entertain me, so I thought that was hilarious. They're both just so funny. Like I said before, the fact is, I believe that heavily the Council of Jedi, or whatever it's called, I think they're the real reason. They hold most of the blame for why Anakin turned to the dark side, because they kind of pushed down his ambition and wouldn't let him do what he wanted, which is understandable. He wasn't maybe as qualified to do some stuff, but with his kind of personality, you gotta always watch out, because he's very ambitious, I think. And when you have someone like that, it's always as if, like, they'll try to do anything to get what they want, I guess. I don't know, I think I'm just talking out of my backside right now, but I really just think that a lot of blame should be put on the Council of Elders. Where is that even from? The Council of Jedi. The whole battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, or then Darth Vader, it made me, I literally was crying from that part on. Well, I should say that I am very susceptible to crying when I'm watching a movie, because the feels, they're just so strong in me. And yeah, even the littlest sad thing could set me off, and it's bad. I really need to control that, but yeah, so I think the last half hour of the movie I was crying, because I was like, oh no, they're fighting each other, they're like brothers, and they're fighting, and all Anakin wants to do is save Padme, but then he like chokes her, and I was like, no, why did you do that? You're making it worse for yourself. That's where he was to blame, about too into the dark side. But yeah, and then the fact that he survived after being burned, that's crazy. That's crazy. That, I don't know, I couldn't see how he did that. I mean, I know they have different technology than what we have today, but still, it was crazy that he survived. I think that's all really about the first 3 episodes of Star Wars. So, yeah, I really like those. I think those 3 I like better than the original ones. It might be because I saw those first. But I also like the special effects, even though I can't say anything bad about the original ones, because those special effects were nice. They just aren't as great as the more modern ones, of course. So, but now on to the original Star Wars. For New Hope, or the original Star Wars, I want to ask, I don't know if this is a stupid question, but are his aunt and uncle the step-siblings of Anakin? Or the step-sibling of Anakin and his wife, who we saw briefly in, I think it was Attack of the Clones, when when Anakin was asking about his mother. Are those the same people? Because I don't know, they kind of looked the same. But that could have just been who they chose as actors. But I'm not sure. I think they were the same people. So that just confused me a bit. But this is a little superficial of me, but I had to say Luke wasn't as attractive as his parents were. Like with Anakin and Padme being his parents, you would have thought they would have had a more attractive child, because I don't know what it was, but he kind of looked old at times. There were times where he was like, oh, he is kind of attractive, not like the best, but he's attractive enough. Then other times he was just like, he looks so old. How is that? I don't even know. In these movies, I have to say, CP3O was kind of getting on my nerves in these. He seemed a lot whinier and less sassy than he did in episodes 1 through 3. That kind of made me sad, because that's what I loved about him. And in these, he was just like whining at R2-D2 the entire time. It was just annoying. So annoying. But then Han Solo. I always thought before watching the movies that Han Solo was a Jedi. That is not the case, obviously. But I loved his character. And I shipped him and Leia from the beginning of that. And just, oh, they are so cute together with their little sarcastic annoyingness towards each other. Or fake annoyance with each other. It's just so cute. I liked seeing all of like the similarities between Luke and Anakin, how they both were kind of doing what they didn't want to do. Anakin with being a slave, which was a lot worse, and Luke working with his father, or not his father, his uncle for the harvest, which I don't really understand what they meant by that. I don't know if they meant food or whatever, but he didn't want to do that. He wanted, what was it, to become a pilot or something like that. And then how they both got that kind of out of luck, being at the right place at the right time, or choosing the right things or something. How they lost their arm from a battle. That was really funny, and I think it was not funny, but like it was really weird to see that they both had that done. But I guess with fighting with lightsabers, it's very common, because I mean, one slash got wrong and your arm's gone. So I don't know, I just thought it was cool that they both, not cool, but interesting how they both how that happened to them, and how they were both obviously very good at flying. And just the similarities, it was interesting to see them, because like you can kind of guess, even if you had watched, well, maybe not if you had watched, I don't know what I'm saying right now. What is coming out of my mouth? This is what I said about me not having very coherent thoughts and jumping around a bit, because I did not write anything down. I'm just saying stuff from memory and trying to get my thoughts out, which it's not really working all that well. And in the Return of the Jedi, when we see Yoda, I did not like this Yoda at all. I know he was older, and also the fact that it was made in, what was it, the 80s? Yeah, 1980. So they didn't have as well of a special effects thing going on. But I really, just that Yoda scared me. Did not like it at all. I don't know, because he looked more like a puppet. And not like a fun puppet, a scary puppet. So I did not like him at all. And then also with the first, I don't even know what kind of creature they are, but the one that looked like Yoda, I had thought he was Yoda at first, and I would have been really pissed off, because it seemed like he got like he was crazy, and it was just bad. Thankfully, that wasn't the real Yoda. But yeah, I didn't really like how Yoda looked. He was a bit scary. Yeah, I think if I had watched that first, I would not have liked Yoda as much as I did in the second, or in the episodes 1 through 3. Like I said before, how both Darth Vader, well, Anakin at that time, and Luke had their arms cut off. When that happened to Anakin, he just got like a metal arm thing, didn't look like an arm, like a real arm. But then when Luke got it, it looked like arm, a hand, and realness. And I thought, I don't know, with the technology, the other technology that they had, I think that them making a real arm for Luke seemed more plausible than just getting a metal, fake looking, not realistic hand. That kind of angered me a bit, because I was like, one thing is that the special effects are obviously better in episodes 1 through 3. So why did they just give him metal, mechanical looking hand instead of a real looking one? That's a small thing, but I was really weirded out. Not weirded out, but I was confused. I'm just looking at IMDb, which I use a lot for movies and stuff because I'm a cinephile, so I like knowing information about movies and that kind of stuff. And I'm looking at Return of the Jedi, and I did not know that the person who played the Emperor or the Sith in like episodes 4 through 6 was the same person that they had in 1 through 3, and that's really cool because I don't know, that's just cool because he does look the same throughout, so obviously he had to have makeup done for 4 through 6, and it kind of looks similar in 1 through 3, and I had thought while watching it was a different person, but they had made it look really similar to how, so they look the same, but it was actually the same person, so that's an interesting fact to know. And then in Return of the Jedi, it was so sad when they were on Endor, which was the planet with all the trees and nature and that kind of stuff, with the Ewoks. When one of the Ewoks died and there was another next to it, and it was wondering why the other dead one wouldn't wake up, I was nearly in tears. I didn't actually cry, I was good. But it made me sad because they're just so cute little fur balls, and they're helping. They didn't have to help, really, but they did, and they died. It was just... I forgot to say something, so that's why the setup is all weird, because I had started editing when I was like, oh, I forgot this. So what I had forgotten was, before I had watched Star Wars, a big thing that I had heard about was the incest part. It was blown completely, like, out of proportion. I thought it was like, oh, they kind of slept together, and they were brother and sister. But that is not what happened at all. It was just like, they kind of made out a little bit. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. Of course, incest, just kissing on lips is a bit weird. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Like, I literally thought that they were doing the do, but that was not the case. So, yeah, that was good to find out the truth about the incestual 5-second relationship that they had. So that was good. I'm pretty sure that's all the rambling I'm going to do about those movies because I can't really think of anything else really off the top of my head that I wanted to talk about. I really liked them though, and honestly I really should have watched them sooner because I knew every time I saw like a little snippet on TV I was gonna like it. I just didn't like the fact that I was only watching a snippet and not from the beginning. But yeah, I really did like them. They were a very good movie. Very good movie. My English is not on point today. I don't know why. I guess it's because I haven't spoken in a while because I've been studying constantly. Yeah, I really enjoyed these movies. they were great. I really wish I had watched them sooner so I can fangirl more about them. But I'm planning to watch them again during the summer with my brother because he's really into them. And then that way when the new movie comes out in December, we can go watch it together, which I'm going to talk about that as well, the trailer for it, for the new movie FOrce Awakens. Now, I'd watched it right after I'd finished watching Return of the Jedi so I can see, I don't know, so I can have better thought of what had happened before this movie, so I can see how it's gonna look, I guess. That was logic, so. I saw 2 of the trailers that they had on IMDb because, you know, like I said, I love IMDb. And the first one I watched, it was the one where someone is saying over top, and I'm pretty sure it has to be Luke who's saying this. He's saying, I had it, the force was strong in me, my father had it, my sister had it, and now you have it. And that was really all that was said, and then you just saw kind of scenes that didn't really go with what was being said, and then also it was like such short clips that you kind of saw what was happening, but you don't know the big picture, which of course is what a trailer should do. You should get like little snippets to kind of get a feel for how it's going to be, instead of getting like whole plots ruined. But they really had little, as small as they can get without like showing absolutely nothing. And so like I really don't know what this movie is going to be about. They did it so well where, like I said, you get a feel, but you don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure the second trailer I saw, it was kind of the same thing, they just didn't have the voiceover on top. They showed more of like the action stuff that was going to happen. But then also on IMDb, I looked at the cast. I was like, oh, let's see who's going to be in it. So Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher, they're returning, which I was happy about. But then, if you looked at the other top bill cast, because that is what IMDb does, they show like the main stars of the movie, and then they go to like other characters after, other actors and actresses afterwards. And I'm pretty sure they don't always have to have like 4 for the top billed cast. So I was really confused when I saw it, and it was those 3, which obviously they would be top billed cast. But then we see Adam Driver, which I never really knew his name, I just knew his face. He was in a lot of funny movies. I can't remember any right now for some reason. But he's a funny guy, and then he's a great actor, I think. And he's in it, but we didn't see him at all in the trailers, either trailer. I haven't seen him in any of like the little featurette things that they kind of have as on IMDb as well, that kind of like either interviews or that kind of stuff. So I'm confused. He is on the top billed cast list, but I have no idea what part he's gonna play in the movie, and I'm totally confused. I have a feeling he might be like the son or whatever that Luke was kind of talking to in one of the trailers, like saying, like I said, oh, the force was strong in me, my sister, and blah blah blah. So I have a feeling that's it, but again, I have no idea because we didn't see him at all, and so that really confused me. But it looks like it's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait for it. I want more information about it, because even the description of it, it just says it's a continuation of the saga created by George Lucas, set 30 years after Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I honestly don't know, and also, like, I don't know what the bad guys are gonna be, who, like, I don't know, because the Sith was destroyed in Return of the Jedi. I thought Darth Vader was dead, but I don't know, it kind of seemed like he wasn't, or someone took on the form of Darth Vader or something, because there was this dude with kind of his mask or something, only smaller. He doesn't have like the body metal suit or whatever, that the life support, I guess, that Darth Vader had. But Darth Vader died good, like as a good person. He died, I'm pretty sure. So I have no idea who they're going to be fighting against. Because I don't think it would be like the clones and the other people who were on the dark side. Because they didn't seem like they were that strong to defeat or anything. Like, it probably would have taken a second for everybody on the good side, or the rebels, and then to overpower the clones and that kind of, and the bad people. So I have no idea who the bad guys are going to be, because there is fighting in the trailers, both of the trailers, so there's obviously going to be fighting, but what are they fighting? Who's the bad guy? So I have no idea. So I am confused. I just can't wait to see it, and yeah, I'm sorry for how scatterbrained this entire video was. I just wanted to get my feelings out there about Star Wars because it was a new experience, and I know a lot of people are into it, and it's a big, like, fan thing. So I was like, I want to put myself out there to try to get other people to maybe clue me in on stuff, or correct me or whatever. But yeah, also, if you have any theories about what this new movie is going to be about or what's going to happen, please let me know. I want to hear everybody's theories, because I might be like, oh, that's really, that could happen, or I don't know. Just want to hear something. I want to know what's going on, kind of. So yeah, so I'll see you next time. This is probably going to be my last video until June, because my friend is coming in a couple of days, so we'll be traveling for a while, and then I have one of my exams during that time, so it's going to be busy for me. So this is probably the last video until I go back home. So thank you for watching this scatterbrained, completely non-thought-out video, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please thumbs up, and subscribe, maybe. That would be nice. So yeah, have a good day.